Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. I'm your host, retired Officer Steve Rutherford. Your co-host for today's show, Joann Jackson.
Hey.
And we're joined by two guests today. We've got one guest joining us in studio. We have retired Officer Andy Caceres.
Hello.
And joining us remotely from Corpus Christi, Texas, we've got returning guest, Deputy Mark Lemons.
Glad to be back. Amazed you let me come back. I really am.
You know, Mark, I had my reservations about that. For our listeners out there, Mark was in episode 9. He had some crazy stuff in episode 9 for sure. And I tell you, Mark, I thought twice. I'm like, well, you know, do we run the risk of having Mark back on? Because we're really not sure what you're going to say or what's going to come out of your mouth.
If you're not going to live on the edge, man, you gotta take risks. You gotta take chances in life.
Well, and the other thing is, no one wants to make you mad because you play the long game.
Oh, I do. You have no idea.
The long game, big time. You and Jimmy. Jimmy's like good for the long game too.
But you know, and let's talk about the game that you've got. Monday, the mailman delivered something to me. And
you asked for patches, man. I sent you patches. That's all.
Yeah, true story. Yes, you said, "Hey, Steve, I would like to send you a couple patches," and in fact, you did. And the letter I received on Monday has a return address of Mistress M's Used Sex Toys out of Ingleside, Texas, with a big red stamp on the front of it saying "Invoice enclosed." Now, you know, probably the kicker to that one, Mark, is that I didn't check the mail.
I bet you do from now on.
Oh, absolutely.
Who checked the mail, Steve?
One of my daughters checked the mail.
This makes me so happy.
And the worst part about that, she checked the mail. She brought it into the house. She sets it down on the kitchen counter, and this is about 7:00. That's usually when she's walking in the door. I didn't go and look at the mail until about 9:00. And I look down, I see this letter laying there and see the return address, and I know this is you. This has Mark all over it. But I'm mortified in the fact that it's like, holy crap, my kid pulled this out of the mailbox, and that was 2 hours ago. She hasn't talked to me at all this evening and just disappeared. So
can we just clarify that your kid is an adult and not like 7? Okay,
Correct.
She is.
They're almost all adults. Yeah.
Yeah, true story. She is an adult.
She probably looked at it and rolled her eyes and said, "It figures."
Yeah, probably.
I hope not. But I had to go tell her, hey, just so you know, this was a guy that was on the show. I swear. And
sure.
These are patches. And yeah, now, you know what? And not that you can pull this off on me now, but on your next one, you need to actually just send a box to somebody instead of the letter. So, you know, hey, use sex toys. Hey, oh my God, there could be something in here.
Yeah, make sure it's got some weight to it.
Yeah, really? Okay. Yeah, we'll get back to that.
I heard your podcast. I know the things you found and the things that were sent. So
I just need Curtis's address. That's all. Curtis, you're up, man. You're next.
Curtis is next.
I either need that or he is full time at Fort Worth PD, right? All I need is the address to his office. So,
he is. You know what? We could actually address it to the chief, care of Curtis Hadley.
No.
Or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know how much of a sense of humor he has.
Curtis or the chief?
The chief. I only ever see him on the news, so I don't.
We don't care what kind of sense of humor people have. It's not for
You don't
them,
live
it's
here.
for us. That's right. Yeah. And I don't work there, so I don't care.
Well, and the best way to figure out someone's level of sense of humor is test it.
As Curtis is put on foot patrol in an area where there is no such thing as foot patrol. He's mucking stalls down in the stockyards.
Oh, Curtis would get a kick out of it. Yes, Mark, I will definitely make sure to get you the address for that. You've got a green light on Curtis, so
Awesome.
yeah, pull out all the stops. And Mark, let's go ahead and remind our listeners. You were on episode 9. You are currently a deputy.
I am.
And how long have you been in law enforcement?
Since 1992.
Okay. And what all agencies have you worked for?
I got out of the academy. I worked briefly at the New Oasis County Jail in Corpus Christi. I got a street job less than a year later working for the Aransas Pass PD. Aransas Pass is a town of about 10,000 people here on the Gulf Coast. I worked there for 16 years, worked in patrol, worked as a patrol supervisor, worked as a motor officer, worked a couple of years in CID, and then I left there and I went to work for the San Patricio County Sheriff's Office. I worked there for 14 years, and at 30 I retired, took a year off, did some traveling, and then went back to work for a friend of mine who's a constable in this county who wanted to start a mental health unit. So I work the mental health unit. We do crisis calls. We help our local mental health authority with stuff. We do psych transports to facilities all over the state, no matter where they need to go. And we also teach crisis intervention, de-escalation classes, and I'm working on becoming a mental health first aid instructor right now. So that's what I do.
So, I mean, obviously you've got a passion towards the mental health thing, and just talking to you, I think you've got a personal connection with it.
The best recruiting happens from within the client base. So,
Well, very good. Now, Andy, you are a retired officer, kind of.
Correct.
Right? You tell us a little bit about your career, your agency, how many years you did in law enforcement.
Well, at first I was Mark. I'm from Corpus, born and raised. Still
cool.
got family down there. Yeah, all those towns you mentioned, I'm familiar with all that area down there. And hopefully one of these days I'll head back south down there in Corpus. I definitely enjoy it. Down there.
Good,
Yeah.
Andy. I'm gonna tell you, I'm kind of concerned that you've got a connection with this guy.
Andy's not like that.
Andy, we'll talk later.
Oh, definitely.
So Andy, where did you work? What agency did you work for?
I did 27 years with Dallas PD. Did my whole career with Dallas Police Department, and throughout my whole career, I had a great career. I did join a bigger department. You got options to pretty much do what you want to do, and I did patrol. I did gang. I was in a gang unit. I did recruiting. I was in the mayor's detail, organized crime, intelligence. So it was a great career. Definitely a great career.
Excellent. Sounds like you had a lot of opportunities there.
Most definitely.
Now, are you completely retired?
No, I ended up staying reserves just to have my peace officer's license, just in case. You never know what could come up. During my reserve time, I'm still with the honor guard. I love doing honor guard. It's a big passion of my with me because it's all about the families. We definitely need honor guard there. The honor guard does flag presentation. We do funerals. We do line of duty death. We do retiree funerals. So it's definitely a big part of who I am because I definitely enjoy doing honor guard.
Excellent. And I mean, what a great way to go ahead and get your reserve time in by doing honor guard stuff and keeping your license active.
But he has a job.
Well, yeah.
He has a job too. I think that's what he was alluding to initially. Is he does have a job. He's not retired. He has a job.
I'm
Retired from law enforcement, but he's still kind of working in that mentality.
Correct.
Okay. What did? Okay. Yeah.
Y'all are getting off the, getting off the beaten path here.
I'm glad you've got a job, Andy. Otherwise, I'd be like, you need anything? Can I help? I don't want to see you down here on the street corner or something like that. So,
Maybe an
People coming
HEB
after
gift
next.
card or something. Yeah.
Nothing but a halter top.
did you wait?
He told me a
Wait.
story earlier about something that happened at his job recently, and it included a homeless woman and nothing but a tube top.
Is this something we can share?
We can. We won't mention where I work at, but I do have a job, and it's downtown Dallas. And if you're familiar with downtown Dallas, there's a big population of homeless, and 99% of the problems we have are homeless downtown. And we having issues every day with certain. You get to know certain homeless, and sometimes you don't know these individuals, and you don't know how they're going to react. And some become aggressive, some don't. And we had an issue yesterday with the homeless that all she had was a female. That she just had a shirt on with no bottom, nothing, just walking around downtown Dallas. And she decided to take her top off. Now she was walking.
Now she's got nothing on.
Exactly.
Right?
And now it's a problem. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I'm going to call the police to handle this now.
So it wasn't a problem when she at least had a top on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's when
It's when the top comes off that it's a problem.
we don't tolerate nudity in the city of Dallas. So as long as you've got your top on, yeah. Okay. Look at Mark. Mark's
I'll
like,
just
I
remember
haven't been to
this the
Dallas
next
in a
time. Yeah, the next time I come to Dallas, I'll remember. Steve said it was okay as long as I had my T-shirt on. Those stories always end with, "Officer, the cuffs are hurting me."
But we'll make sure to send you where Andy works.
It's always an adventure, and not only a female, but we did have a male a couple of days ago walking down, of course, downtown Dallas, and all he was wearing is his tidy whities and a real cut off fluorescent shirt, walking around downtown Dallas like it was no big deal. I know it's been hot, it's been close to 100 degrees downtown in Dallas, but I guess he was just wanted to.
He needed to cool off.
Yeah,
He needed
probably.
to air things out, get some breeze flowing.
So it's a whole new adventure. If you want to explore something different every day, definitely downtown Dallas is the place to go.
I know you can't say, but do you work for the chamber? Because you're really selling it.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's part of the tourism thing.
Yeah, it's a tourism campaign.
Come to Dallas, drop your bottoms.
But keep a shirt on, for the love of God.
Exactly.
People get offended if you take that shirt off, but
That's right,
bottoms,
yeah.
good to go.
Stop it. You'll see that somewhere.
Oh, I'll have a poster made for Steve by later today. I promise.
I don't doubt that at all. Okay, so Andy, you said that 27 years at the Dallas Police Department. Any stories from your law enforcement days?
Working in Dallas, there's always something going on. It depends on what you do or where you're part of Dallas, part of the area you're working at. So when I first got academy, and I was assigned to Southwest, which is just south of Trinity River, and it's Oak Cliff. I worked in the Oak Cliff area, and I just got off of field training. I got off a little T, and then you're all excited because you could finally drive by yourself, and you got your classmates, and you could ride with your classmates. We're all excited. We're big time police now. So we had a call one time, and my partner, I was driving, he was passenger. There was a call that some officers that were chasing somebody, a male individual, and all we had the description was he was wearing a cowboy shirt. So my partner gets off, saying, hey, he's over here, he's going northbound on Hampton, he's wearing a cowboy shirt. So my partner gets off, and he's chasing. So I'm going to go around this way, and hopefully we could intercept him. So I get on the radio, I told my partner, you see him? No, I don't see anybody. No, I don't see anybody wearing a cowboy shirt. So the other officers see this individual wearing the cowboy shirt. They pull up and they handcuff him. They arrest him. So I told my partner, I said, hey, did you ever see the guy with no, I didn't see a guy with the cowboy shirt. I said, they got him arrested. There he is right there. I said, that's not him. That is the guy with the cowboy shirt. He's wearing number 22, Emmett Smith's jersey. I said, I thought he was wearing a cowboy Western shirt. I said,
I thought he was doing pearl snaps.
I said, next time you hear somebody say in Dallas, somebody's wearing a cowboy shirt, it's going to be a Dallas Cowboy jersey. So he was from Houston, so he didn't have a clue about what a cowboy shirt meant. He thought it was some guy running around with a Western shirt, and he passed the guy with the Dallas Cowboy jersey, but he didn't know that was him, because all they said with a male drive, they didn't give a description of who he was, but just a male running in the cowboy shirt.
I instantly went to pearl snap. I wasn't even thinking of the Dallas Cowboys.
And see, I went to the Dallas Cowboys shirt because he's running in a cowboy shirt. Cowboys.
I thought the exact same thing, because since about 2000, if you're down here and it's after dark and you're wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey, that's probable cause for a PI right there. You've got to be drunk to be wearing a Cowboys shirt. or just have no self-esteem whatsoever. So,
Wow. Wait, what's your team, Mark?
It ain't the Cowboys. It used to be the Cowboys. It ain't the Cowboys no more. I'd really rather watch New England play.
Right on.
I've got no words.
Are you okay, Steve? Do we need to call somebody for you?
Thinking maybe if someone's got a defibrillator around here or something.
But you're not a Cowboys fan.
No, but I'm not a New England Patriots fan either. Okay.
You better remember something.
The number of Super Bowl rings, is it that?
How many friends he has that are Patriots fans?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to remain neutral on this topic. So, Mark, last time you shared stories of pranks that you've done on coworkers.
Yeah.
What else you got? Share something with us.
Man, since we talked last, I rolled it around in my head a bunch, and I was going to tell you that one of the things I think we all identify with in law enforcement is the drunks we have to deal with. And when I went to work in Aransas Pass in 1993, Aransas Pass is a shrimping town, or was, and in the 90s, the shrimping industry was blowing and going there, going hard. And I tell people this and they don't believe me. When I went to work there were 24 churches in that town and 26 bars. And it's only a town of about 10,000 people. So on the weekends, it was drunk after drunk after drunk. So I got to thinking about all the drunks that I've dealt with over the last 30 years. One of my favorite ones was a DWI that I picked up, and it's a guy that I arrested on a regular basis, usually for PI. But one day I caught him driving. He pulled up next to me at a stop sign, and we had stopped, and I glanced over at him, and he's sitting there behind the wheel of somebody's car. I don't remember whose it was. And he looked over at me and just punched it and blew through the intersection. A bunch of people had to take evasive action to avoid him. So I pulled him over, got him pulled over. He was drunk. I took him in, and part of the DIC paperwork, the interview, one of the questions to determine orientation is, where are you? And so we're going through the questions. When did you last eat? When did you last sleep? How long? What did you eat? Blah, blah, blah. And I got to, where are you? And he looked at me and he said, what? I said, Mr. Sanchez, where are you? And he stood there for a second and he looked down at himself and he looked at me and he goes, I'm right here, man. And he looked at me like I was drunk. And I thought, a good defense attorney would have at least taken the opportunity in court to point out that he was correct. He was right there. So that was the only question he got correct. But
all right. But, you know what, guys? Let's take a break. Welcome back. Welcome back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, retired Officer Steve Rutherford. Joining me in studio, your co-host for today, Joann Jackson. You rolled your eyes at me when I said that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I did not.
That was an involuntary roll.
Apparently. I did not. You'll know if I roll my eyes at you.
Yeah, I'm like, and this is the co-host for today, Joann Jackson, and I just saw, whoop, those eyes just went.
There was no eye roll.
I mean, it's like your eyes just jumped off a cliff.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Now, joining us in studio, we've got retired Officer Andy Caceres.
How you doing?
Okay, I had to look Andy in the eyes because I wanted to see if he rolled his eyes at me
no
too.
rolling over here.
You can't see it with a ball cap.
Okay. And joining us remotely from Corpus Christi, we've got Deputy Mark Lemons.
Hey, guys.
Welcome back, Mark. This segment of Offbeat is sponsored by Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com. All right. Andy, you said that you did 27 years and you shared a story with us at the in the first segment. Wait, what else you got?
Well, being on the department for 27 years, like I said before, you got choices to do whatever you want throughout the department. And one of the things I did in the department was I was a recruiter. I recruited, went all over the United States, try to recruit individuals to come to Dallas, become police officers. So then, we went to, colleges, military base, high schools, job fairs, just go out and just try to represent the department, show them what we have, what to offer, and this and that.
Yeah, go out and tell folks, hey, you want to be me.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Dallas is the place to come and be a police officer and all this stuff. And we give them the spill. So when we give them the spill and we got a date, they got to come up to Dallas and, do some testing and all that stuff. So part of the testing is we have like a pre-polygraph test. Well, it's not a test. I guess you call it a test, but it's a pre-polygraph before you actually take the polygraph.
Yeah,
exam.
bunch of questions. You've got to answer those questions, and then we're going to hook you up to a machine and check you on them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you got individuals coming in want to be police officers. So you definitely want them to be honest. That's part of being a police officer. You got to be honest.
It's about integrity.
Exactly. So you don't want somebody to come in here and not, be truthful. So we have individual. I won't mention the state where he was from, but he came in from out of town, and he was doing the polygraph. Asking all these questions. So there's one question on that pre-polygraph, asking about, have you ever had intercourse with certain individuals or certain things and stuff like that?
Certain things.
Livestock. I've seen the
Okay, we're going to go to
loose livestock.
Okay, we're going to go to Mark now. Okay, sorry for the interruption there, but yeah.
Well, like I said, you want them to be truthful.
Yes.
So,
sometimes I don't know if we want the truth on this one here.
Exactly.
So we have this individual, he wrote down, he was writing quite a bit, whatever on that one answer question.
Oh, no.
So, after he's all done, we go back and review it and make sure, what he wrote down is, he's telling the truth pretty much. So that one question where it comes about having sex, he wrote down that back in, I forgot what year it was, back in such and such year at this time, I was out in the lake by myself. I caught a fish.
Was he noodling?
I caught a fish, and I don't know what he didn't go. I always said he caught a fish, and he unhooked the fish from the hook. Then, without anybody looking, he decided to have sex with the fish. That's what he wrote on the pre-polygraph. So I was kind of stunned when he wrote that.
I've got so many questions.
I got questions. Like, For real, or was he pulling your leg?
No,
He's pulling his
was-
fin.
The most important question is, did he get hired?
No, we did not get hired.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank God. Whew, can't
But
find
but
his
he
element.
Was, he
It's
was
over at the lake.
serious, and I looked at him. You try to be professional. You can't. You can't laugh or anything like. But
that's where
He
game
was-
wardens come from, right there. That's where game wardens come from.
Wow.
But I had to take it back to my supervisor just to confirm what he wrote was on the paper. But that's what he did. He did write that he had
He's an honest
sexual
man.
intercourse with the fish.
An honest man, and that's a first. I thought maybe you were going to say he was noodling and he wasn't using his arm.
He was using his noodle.
Yeah, his twigs and berries.
Yes. You know, the image comes into mind. How do you have sex with a fish?
Like what kind of fish? Like how does it not?
He
Did
didn't
fish not
specify-
have teeth? I don't know anything about. I mean, not really anything about fish, but I mean they can bite.
Yeah, they can. He didn't specify what kind of fish it was.
I would have asked him so many questions. I'd have been like, dude, explain this to me.
I'd be like, we're not going to exclude you yet from the hiring process, but we need to go over here in this room. I'm going to need you to elaborate on this and just,
I need details. I'm flabbergasted. I working in the ER and on rescue. I've seen a lot of things, but that's right up there. That's yeah.
and I just, how does that happen in the first place? Because
like, what makes you think that? Like, what makes you think that's a good idea? Like, oh, I caught this fish. I'm gonna. Oh, hell yeah.
yeah, it's
Like,
maybe he
Well,
dropped a bee off a bass and he thought that's a good looking ass. And just jumped in
He
there.
could have been intoxicated. He didn't mention that, but he could have been intoxicated.
but still.
Okay.
But
He
we're-
probably
we're-
went home
we're-
and said, I'm never going to tell that story ever again. I'm going to lie
you
for
would've
the rest
thought-
of my life.
You would have thought that he would have just kept that to himself his whole entire life. But for some reason, you get kind of stressed out when you see all these questions, all these right in front of you. So you gotta tell the truth. And I guess he decided to tell the truth.
I thought he was going to be like, just kidding.
Made you look.
Just want to make sure you were actually looking at all my answers. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't.
yeah.
I don't. yeah.
That's a
That's a first.
That-
Yeah, but you would get people from all over and asking these same questions, but other questions, and they'll just spill the beans and just tell everything. And they would most of the time they would get all the time they would get disqualified for answering that one question the way that they did. And on the same type of, it wasn't the same day, but like it was a different day, where we had another individual from a different state. He came down and the same question that about the fish. He wrote down that he had sexual intercourse with his sister.
Oh,
But he was mad at us because we disqualified him because of that. But he said it was consensual.
Well, wait a minute.
That's-
What did the sister look like? Let's talk about that.
Are we talking like a Joe Dirt situation here or something?
But he was mad because he thought because he wrote down because it was consensual by his sister that it was okay.
But it's
That-
not.
So he got disqualified for sure. But like I said, he was more mad because
He got disqualified.
it was
It leads towards deviant behavior, doesn't it? Is that why?
right.
well, there's laws against.
Well, I mean, there's laws against it, but I mean, if they're both adults and they consent, I mean,
There's still laws against it.
they get married.
In some states. There might be other states.
Like I said, I don't want to mention what state they were from.
You can tell me later.
That's going to answer that question right there.
But all I can say it's north of Texas.
No,
Is it some of our friends?
is it northeast of Texas?
It's not Rhode Island.
No, it's a lot closer.
Steve, don't you own some property northeast of Texas?
I think he does.
Oh, you know the good thing, Mark? I don't have a sister.
Do you have a brother?
Oh,
Ouch. Ouch.
shots fired.
I got a pet fish.
I gotta talk to my brother when I see him.
Oh, okay. Mark, what else you got for us?
Oh man, I I don't know where to begin. We had so many drunks in Aransas Pass. You couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting one. Loved working DWIs. Got some of the best DWIs out of Aransas Pass. The troopers in that area referred to Aransas Pass as the feeder, because if your stats were getting low for DWIs, you just, oh, we'll just go hang out over there after 9 p.m. and catch DWIs left and right. Arrested a girl one night, and it's a gross story. It's funny if you're there and you're not the one involved and the one on the receiving end of it, but always love good puking drunks. Picked up a girl literally out of the middle of the lane on Highway 35 one night between Gregory and Aransas Pass, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And thank God it was the middle of the night. It was 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and she had fallen out of her car into the middle of the lane, getting out to throw up. It apparently was a secondary thought because she had already puked all over the inside of her car. So we got her picked up, and I put her in the back seat of my car with her feet out the door so that she could continue her activity. She could throw up there and not in the back seat of my car. So one of the Gregory officers came over and was helping me, and we were waiting on the wrecker, and the wrecker got there and they're loading up her car. And she hadn't puked in a little bit. And I was thinking, man, I really wanted to throw up one more time because it's about a 20-minute drive to the jail. So I walked over to her and we were talking a little bit. She was right on the edge, and I went, hey, did you have Chinese food earlier? Because I was looking in your car and I see peas and rice and she power pukes. Okay, now we're ready. Let's go. 120 all the way to the jail. I was calling the other agencies in between me and the jail and going, just move, just get out of the way. I'm in a hurry. Got to the jail, pulled her out in the sally port, and handed her off to one of the jail corporals, who is one of my absolute favorite people in the world. And I went, hey, hold her. And she's going, oh, because she's one of those people, can't stand to see somebody puke, can't stand to hear somebody puke, can't stand the smell. But I said, I need a female out in the sally port. And she was the only one on shift. I was like, yeah. Handed her off to her. And I was like, here you go. And so they were standing holding her over a trash can while she puked. And meanwhile, the jail corporal is, I said, just join her. Just go ahead and throw up with her. You'll feel better afterward. So I love a good puking drunk. I was going to tell you were talking about the pre-polygraph. I thought it was going to be one of those where you put a colander on somebody's head and hooked them up to the copy machine, and you preloaded the pages to say they were lying. We had a detective in Aransas Pass that one night while I was out with a drunk, and it was just a PI, he came over to be nosy, and he said, hey, I've got one of those new intoxilizers that's built into my Streamlight. And my dumb ass, I was like, really? That's cool. No. But he stands there and he tells the drunk, he said, look, man, this is just like a breathalyzer at the PD. You blow across the surface of it, and if it lights up, it means you're over the legal limit. And of course, everybody was over the limit.
And okay, for our listeners that are not law enforcement, when he refers to Streamlight, he's talking about a brand of flashlight.
Yes.
Yes. So anybody that blows across the end of the flashlight, if it lights up, they're over the limit.
If the light comes on, they're over the legal limit. After about the third or fourth one of those, I looked at him and I said, I hope we never have to go to court with this. Because we didn't have body cams, but I'm going to tell the truth. I am. So.
Ingenious.
Hey man, it worked. It worked. It worked.
Different times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Can't do that stuff now.
Absolutely.
Well, Andy, what else you got for us over here?
Well, you know what? I'll stick to recruiting as well. I got some other, but one of the trips that we ended up going out of town from headquarters. It was always a 2-man go out of town, do these trips, and we got up early in the morning. We're actually going to go to El Paso for a recruiting event down there. And my partner, he's from El Paso, so we end up, going together. We met up at police headquarters. Got our luggage, put it in the city vehicle, headed to El Paso. But halfway there, we're already halfway to El Paso. We get a phone call from headquarters and saying, "Hey, one of y'all's luggage is down here at the garage parking lot, wheeling around all over the garage parking lot."
Oh, that sucks.
Well, my partner, he forgets his luggage. He's got his uniform in the car because it was ironed and everything, so it was from the dry cleaner, so it was hanging on the vehicle. But his luggage and everything was just had wheels on it, but it was rolling around all over the
Tells you how level it is.
The parking garage, and they almost got hit. Some car saw it and hit it, and his name was on the luggage, and so they called, him, and they called personnel, and personnel called us and told him, "Hey, your luggage." So I told my partner, "Hey, we're not going back. We're already halfway to El Paso. You just gotta."
You're gonna go to Walmart.
Go-
They're off the highway.
Exactly. Go once you get there, you have to buy everything what you need.
You're gonna have to tell me who that was.
Well, and how far is El Paso from Dallas?
10-hour drive.
10, 11 hours. Yeah.
10-hour drive.
Yeah, we're not going back.
No. We're already
No.
past Midland, Odessa.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go back.
No, yeah.
So with his luggage rolling around, parking garage at the police department, right?
Exactly.
Downtown station there in downtown
Yep.
Dallas.
Headquarters.
Secure location, and you got this package. You got the suitcase rolling around. Anybody called in as a suspicious package?
It would have been funny if they blew it up. Put it all in a bag for him when he came back. Here's your belongings.
Yeah, suspicious package.
Yeah, surprisingly, nobody did call about a suspicious package, but they just, they just saw the name on the tag, and they realized who it was, that he was from personnel.
That's funny. That's funny.
I still think it would have been better had they sent in the robot and set a charge
SWAT
off.
team
Yeah.
deployment.
and called and said, "By the way, the luggage that you left behind has been exploded."
That would have been funny.
Listen, it would have taken 5 minutes to go to a Goodwill and find a suitcase that looked just like it and video that happening.
Yeah, that would have been, yeah.
We would have done that.
That would have been a great prank.
Yeah, it would
Yes,
have.
absolutely.
What else you got for
Well,
us?
on the same trip, on the way back,
Oh Lord, there's more.
Don't travel with this person ever again.
Yeah,
the same individual, my partner, same partner. We went to El Paso. We're coming back to Dallas from the trip. So he's driving. I drove down on the way down there to El Paso. He's driving on the way back to Dallas. So there's only 2 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
You got the fast lane, you got the slow lane. So if you get on the left lane, it's the fast lane.
Right.
So you got cars going 80, 90, 100 miles,
Oh, at least, yeah.
and you got the slow lane.
Speed limit's like 85 out there, right?
Yeah, for the most part. So my partner decides to get on the slow lane. And, there's cars, 10 cars deep right behind us. So they call me, somebody from headquarters calls me and saying, "Hey, are y'all down 20 heading eastbound?" I said, yeah. We said, "Well, who's driving?" I told him who's driving. I said, "Hey, tell them to scoot to the right because we got people complaining that you're driving too slow on the freeway." And the thing is, we had a marked vehicle. And people were calling, complaining that he was driving too slow
Well, they'll pass you.
on the fast lane. So,
Yeah.
Sure enough, I told him, "Hey, we just got a call from headquarters. You can get on this lane over here and just stay on this lane the whole time on the way home."
Wow. That's saying a lot. I mean, my mom drives us back from New Mexico, and we don't have that problem.
wow. So, yeah, I mean, you're in a marked car, so yeah, you're not going to speed. You're in a marked unit,
Exactly.
but to get a
You're
call
not supposed
from
to speed in a marked unit.
Technically.
Oh, technically.
I'm just saying.
unless you have your emergency equipment activated, right? I don't know what your policy is.
Sure.
You know what? We'll deflect to that. Each agency has their own policy that dictates the operation of the police vehicle.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, there's got to be a disclaimer somewhere there. But right now, I want to remind our listeners, if you have not been to the website, check it out. It's offbeatcopshow.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow.com. If you are an officer and you've got a story you'd like to come in the studio and tell our listeners, then send us an email. offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, that is offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Guys, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and give us a like. Right now, we're going to take a break. Welcome back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, retired Officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show,
Me.
Co-host for today's show is me. I paused there because I wanted to look at you and see if you're going to roll your eyes at
There
me.
was no eye roll, Steve.
Okay. So your co-host for today's show, Joann Jackson.
Affirmative. That's me. There was no eye roll. He's just seeing things.
You did not eye
You
roll
know
that
me
time.
well enough and long enough to know if I gave you the eye roll, you'd know.
Oh, I knew it. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
joining us in studio, retired Officer Andy Caceres.
Hello.
And joining us remotely from Corpus Christi, Texas, we've got Deputy Mark Lemons.
Hey, guys.
So on break, Andy, you were sharing a story with me, and
me. And Mark.
and
And the listeners.
not the listeners. He's going to share with the listeners in just a minute.
Well, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what, Andy? Share it with the listeners, Andy. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, I did 27 years, and I was able to be part of the honor guard. It's definitely an honor to be an honor guard for Dallas Police Department. It's a privilege. I enjoy it. We do retire funerals, line of duty death. We do colors for events, conference, academy classes. We pretty much do a lot of things for the honor guard. It's I definitely enjoy it. That's my passion, is the honor guard.
Excellent. Good deal.
And we had a graduation. It was one of the class. I forgot what class it was. It was at Old Central College, downtown Dallas, where they had the event there. And the class was, they were just graduating from, that's the day of the graduation. So, we have people from all over coming in to see their, husband, brothers, sisters graduate from the police academy. It's a big honor to graduate from the police department. And, it's probably over 100 plus people in that auditorium. So we're getting ready, the honor guards we get pre warm up, kind of figure out where we're going to be at, march, what doors, what we're going to go. Just got to get everything figured out to make sure we're on step, on point, and all this stuff. We got to look good for everybody because we're the honor guard.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're on stage. You guys always
exactly.
look clean, sharp. Uniforms have to be perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got to look sharp. So we got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes, before we go up there and present colors, because they're going to sing the choir. Dallas Police Choir is going to sing the national anthem. So, every time before we do any kind of events, we tell everybody, okay, phone's turned off, just leave your phone here in the back. We don't need your phone. So everybody's prepared to go up there and say, well, nobody's got any phones. So we're marching, getting ready. Okay, let's go. Showtime. So we're marching up, getting set up, left turn, present colors. So we presented colors and, start singing the national anthem. So right towards the end of the national anthem, one of the honor guard officers forgets to turn his phone off. His ringer goes off. His wife is calling him his ringer. His ringer. So
This is wife calling him.
It says,
his wife's calling on his phone. The ringer of his phone was Brick House.
Oh, I was so close.
Brick House from the Commodores. So it comes on. You hear the song Brick House right at the end of the national anthem. So we can't do it. You just got to go with the flow. You just got to go. And, we got all these 100+ family up there on the auditorium, and you got the Chiefs right behind us on the podium, and we just right turn, right face, let's keep marching on the whole song was playing on the way out from the auditorium.
That's funny.
But it was
Yeah, double time. We're getting out of here quick. Better yet, we're leaving you behind. We're getting out.
So from now on, so what we do is that we leave our phones behind. Nobody has a phone no more on.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was hilarious. It was just one of those.
Anybody?
And I'm sure one of the parents somebody recorded it. So I'm sure it's recorded somewhere out there during one of the graduations.
How long ago was this?
It's been years. It's probably been 10, 15 years probably. Yeah.
Well, we have some Dallas listeners. Maybe someone.
It's been.
Yes. Yeah. Do you guys record the graduations?
Yeah, we sure do. It sure do. Yeah, I can't remember what year it was, but it's been a minute. But it was at the El Centro College downtown Dallas.
Well, you need to ask who that was because I'm sure they remember.
Or if you can just get us an Academy class number, something like that, we can track down that. I would love to have that.
That'd be great.
Yes, it would. All right, guys. Thanks for listening today. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Again, if you're an officer and you've got a funny story you would like to come on the show and share with our listeners, send us an email at offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Guys, check out our website, offbeatcopshow.com. Until next time, guys, stay safe and watch each other 6.